I'm Reverend Karen Einhaus. I'm the senior miss here at the New Vision Center, and we have had a big weekend here. Oh my goodness. If any of you were here on the campus yesterday, we had a women's retreat going on. We had a beautiful wedding out on the patio, and in the social hall, we had traffic school. We had a 12-step meeting. It was like, whoa, it's springtime, right? Yes, it is so wonderful. And I have been thinking about the more we are showing up, the more we are interacting with one another, the more we are becoming aware of the things, I like to call it stuff, the stuff that is in between us. And I just know how to take the enthusiasm out of a crowd. Now, we're going to take a look at a couple of things today that are not what we usually jump up and down for to talk about, like boundaries, how to really set, hey, this is okay for me and this is not okay for me, and how we are in the world. It's not one of those really, really sexy subjects. However, I think it's a very important one. Because here's what I have come to learn. The more I am willing to let another, in an intimate relationship, in family dynamics, at work, here at New Vision Center, the more I let the other see me, the deeper the connection can go. So I am willing to talk about the uncomfortable stuff for all of us to benefit, to find new ways, perhaps, or give more importance to the one that looks back from the mirror. That's the journey we're going on. Every once in a while, I'm going to throw in a joke, so stay with me, that you don't miss it. One of the things that I know for myself, that in order to do this work, this is what we call the work, right? The willingness to look at who we are, how we show up in the world. I have been so incredibly supported by this organization, by this institution, by the New Vision Center that has been here for over 34 years now. And it is a very tender time in the life of this organization. And I just want to take actually a moment. I want to take a moment. Many of you might be aware that the founding minister of this organization is dealing with some serious health things. And I want to take all of us, if this is your first time, if you always come here, I just want us to take a moment and send love and light and warmth and comfort to Reverend Joyce Murphy. So let's do that. And feel gratitude rising up for her sacred yes to call forth a place like the New Vision Center, a place where we can come and be who we truly are, a place where we learn that whatever is happening out there has something to do with what is happening within us. Thank you. Thank you for that. And just as we know without a question, then when we do our sacred candle ceremony, that it blesses the world, I know that this has brought great love and comfort. So thank you. All right, exploring the space between us. So let's start with looking at where we are in our annual theme. So our annual theme is Every Path Leads Home. And we have divided this year into different focuses of these different paths. And you heard in that beautiful song of Mark Arnold that sometimes our paths are straight and narrow, right? We know, I'm here, I'm going to go there, and I just know exactly, how that works. I hear people have that experience. I never had it, but I heard it's there. For me, it's more like I'm here, there are things going on. I know I want to end up over there, and then it looks something more meandering, and then I get sidetracked over here for a decade, and then I'm like, oh, yeah. I wanted to feel more connected. I wanted to be one in the one. There gotta be something more. Any of those things. And eventually, it has led me to this place where I feel safe enough in who I am to let the world know and see me. And that is what the New Vision Center has done for me. And here we have 4 defined paths. Ways how we invite people who are new into the fold. These are the paths that we have here. It's spiritual study, which of course is all of our classes and things of that nature, retreats, all of that. Sacred service is another path. That is where we are understanding so completely that in order to feel supported and part of an organization, to step into service is a way that guarantees connection and interaction and engagement. And then we have the commitment path. That's all about stewardship, the understanding that if we all come together and put our resources together, we can have this beautiful community. And there's a lot of work around how am I relating to my resources and things of that nature. And then there's the connection path. And right now, it's springtime. We are in our Gourmet for God season. You will hear many people talk about how this is a community that loves to come together and celebrate with each other. And we have wonderful events going on. It's also Sunday mornings. It's also the willingness, and this is what we're going to do in a moment, to look around and notice who's on this journey with you. And that is what we're going to talk about today: connection path and personal responsibility. Because we individually create what is in that space between us. We are not at the mercy of something else, of something from the outside, just as Reverend Lezli just read in that beautiful reading from Mark Napo. It is coming from the inside. And so I want to take a moment and really invite you to breathe into the center of your being. If it's comfortable for you, allow your eyes to close. Breathe in, feel appreciation for just who you are. And then I invite you to allow your eyes to open and look around. See who is on this journey with you. Notice who you notice. Perhaps somebody you haven't seen in a while, perhaps somebody you have never seen before. Also notice who you're missing. Who are you looking around and say, who I haven't seen in a while? I am going to reach out to that person. I am going to say hello. I just want to say, I miss seeing you here. We have to work on technology that we can actually have pictures maybe stream out of from the online campus and just have these beloveds stream around here who are watching us right now. Although some of them are saying, oh, no, 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 no. I'm not dressed for that. What I want us to take away from this quick little exercise is the realization that nothing can happen to us that doesn't happen through us. We have a voice in this, in everything, in everything. The choice that you made this morning to either tune in or to actually get in your car and come here, there's something here for you. And I am so grateful that you're brave enough to see what is that? What is it that I am yearning for to know more about? What is it that I want to know on a deeper level? Often when I have these questions, I turn to our beloved Dr. Ernest Holmes. And from his book, This Thing Called You, comes this quote. I lost my glasses yesterday, and I can't read with these, so I'm going to take them off. I'm going to read it here. The divine pattern would be imperfect without you. So far, so good, right? We understand that. This moment would be very different if either one of us would not be here. The energy in the entire room would be different. And that holds true for the people who are watching in real time. And I really want to bring this point home. It's so important. Dr. Ernest Holmes at one point said that, yes, he prepares a message and he knows what he wants to talk about. But he said, until I'm in the room and I know who's in the room with me, the message is not complete. Because although it looks like I'm the one talking right now, it is all of us that are creating this experience together. Yes. So that divine pattern would not be complete. It would be imperfect without you. Dare to be yourself. Stand in wonder before the majestic and the might. Oh. Yes, and that to me not only speaks of beautiful trees of the Grand Canyon or other things in nature, it also very specifically speaks to the divine made manifest through us individually. That is the majestic, that is the divine, that is the mighty. And to the degree that we have removed obstacles and stand in the power of that presence and let others see us in that, that is the degree to which this is the mighty and the majestic, the divine, the beauty and the power of that divine presence which seeks expression through your individual life. Yeah, so far so good, right? We're all on board with this? Mm-hmm. How much do we feel that we live that out every day? Because that, beloveds, I see a couple of, some, yeah. The degree to which we can claim that for ourselves and recognize is, I'm not special because this is what's happening to me, that the divine is expressing through me. It is how this thing called life is set up. That book, this thing called you, I love reading that book in the I person, in the I person, I guess. Is that how we say that? First person, yes. First person. I love reading it in the first person because it brings so clearly the point home that this is not something I'm reading about another. This is for me. This is for me. So the first part of that quote then, if I look in that mirror and I'm willing to own it and to stand in it, might sound something like this. The divine pattern would be imperfect without me. Dare to be yourself, Karen. Now, little point. If your name is not Karen, don't say Karen. But I do want us to say it together. So I'm going to come down here so I can see it too. So let's say it together. The divine pattern would be imperfect without me. Dare to be yourself, Karen. I heard a couple Karens. I hope there are a couple Karens in the room. Let's do it again. The divine pattern would be imperfect without me. Dare to be yourself, Karen. And allow that to drop in. Allow it to drop in. At the women's retreat yesterday, we worked some with our core values. What we value the most. What we spend energy on, what we spend time with, who we want to show up in the world. And it was interesting to me that authenticity came up a lot in that. This desire to be authentically who we are, to stand in the truth, to stand in the power of who we are. And sometimes I think that should be so much easier than it is. You know, I look at my 4-year-old granddaughter. She has no problem with that. No problem. She just knows she is God's answer to the world. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So what happens? What happens that there is something as we grow up, as we walk this path called life, that we feel, and perhaps it's not all of us, but some of us feel that who I am truly are, what my needs are, what my desires are, I have to put that aside and please others around me. Now, I can understand it when I look back to when I grew up, right? The example that came up for me yesterday, and I hadn't thought about this in many, many years, but I grew up in Germany, and on Fridays, Tante Käthe came to visit us. Now, my aunt, it was the sister of my grandmother, elderly woman, and she had this habit to wanting to kiss us on the cheeks. And I did what every self-respecting 3- and 4-year-old did. No! Don't do that. And I was told that that was not okay to do that. So I was instructed by the people that I looked to, my parents, to forgo what my intuition was, what my feeling tone was, of saying, no, I don't want to get kissed on the cheek by you, and to endure that. And that's just one little example, but I bet if I would ask every one of us here in the room online, if you can come up with examples where what you wanted to do did not thrive with what people in charge wanted you to do, I think everybody can come up with an example. Yes? Little hands, maybe. Just want to make sure, am I on the right path here? Right? Happens all the time. And then I thought, well, maybe then the moment when I became an adult, that all changes. And now I just say what I feel I need. I prioritize my needs and desires, and everyone around me, bosses, spouses, children, they all say, yes, yes, I would like to do that for you. Yeah, no. Doesn't happen that way. And that, beloveds, is where the courage comes in. Because we can talk all about that it is up to us to communicate our needs, our wants, our boundaries, what is okay and what is not okay. However, until we are brave enough to do it, we are brave enough to say to someone, no, that doesn't work for me. Or perhaps just, no. Did you know that no is a complete sentence? Who knew? Somebody asked something of you, and you do not want to do it, you can't do it. It doesn't matter what the reasoning is. You could just say, no. Practice that. Would you like to come up here and speak instead of me? Okay, we're not asking Tom. Right? Seems rather easy. We ask a question and we say no. It was interesting how we, and I don't know if this is collectively or if it's different cultures have different experiences. Like everyone knows, I grew up in Germany. Perhaps it's stronger, or perhaps it's a female-male thing. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you that not a lot of people are practiced in saying no. No. Why is it so important? It is so important that I am practicing my authentic no, so that when I have a yes, it's actually an authentic yes. Because how often have we said yes when we really meant, heck no? But what comes out is a, yeah, yes. So I've been working with this for a little while, with this idea of honoring myself so much that I even override at times my propensity to please everyone around me. And it is a practice. It is a practice. And it looked a couple of weeks ago, it looked like this, that I said, I need to go ahead and have some time to myself. I want to spend time just by myself, without family, without community, without partnership. I wanted to lay down and actually get to the point where I could see who is Karen at this time in my life. We had a powerful teacher in ministerial school who shared this practice, that every year he would go into a secluded cabin and he would consciously lay down any relationship that he had. He just would lay down the thinking about his wife, the thoughts for his family, any plans for work, and consciously peel down the layer after layer after layer, so that at the end he would stand there naked, spiritually speaking, and just be himself. And I was so inspired by that practice. So I did that. I went away for a weekend and I actually climbed Camelback Mountain, which, yes. Haven't done that in 20 years. And here is how what came up for me when I was looking at the first staircase that leads up there for those of you who have done it. I had to really get clear, why am I doing this? Why am I taking on that big of a challenge? And again, Dr. Ernest Holmes, inspiration galore for me. He says, you rob no person when you discover your own good. You limit no person when you express a greater degree of livingness. You hinder no person's evolution when you consciously enter into the kingdom of your good and possess it today. And for me, this was the very first time that this particular quote wasn't about material good, wasn't about freedom. It was truly about time to be spent just me with about 80 other people who were climbing that day. But I didn't have to think about them. I didn't have to worry about them. I didn't have to do anything. And I want to invite you for a moment, because I get it's not everybody's thing to climb Camelback Mountain. But what is it in your life where you say, you know what I have a yearning for? You know what I really want to do? And take a moment and feel into that. And then imagine yourself actually doing it, being in the place, feeling those feelings. See who is with you. And then I invite you to turn back and look at the path that it took you to get there. That path is different for every person. Nobody can tell what your path looks like. What's important is to walk it, discover it, find support on it, connect with people who are going at least in the same direction, and journey together with them. And then imagine what is possible for you, that you can stand in the power of your own life. That is what I want for all of us. Oh, look, yeah. That was a happy Karen. That doesn't have to be on top of Camelback Mountain, but that feeling of, I did it. That is what I want for each and every one of us. I am so glad we are on this journey together. Let us be supported. Let us love each other to our highest and best. Thank you. Let's take all that good juju that is here in the room, this expression of love, of connection, of the beauty of the space between us, and let us anchor it in prayer. How grateful I am. How very, very grateful to be able to look and see that God is truly everywhere. That there is no place where the energy of the divine is not. I know that to be true in the beauty in nature, in the sunrise, in the eyes of a beloved, in our furry friends, every tree, every flower, every plant, me. And I invite us to put our hands on our hearts or on our core and really feel that I am one in the one. The divine is having its being through me as me right now. And as we stand in this power, in this deep knowingness, we realize the space is wide open for every person. There's no limit on this love, on this peace, on this grace, on this joy, on this experience of being one in the one. And so I speak a special blessing for each person that has placed a prayer request in our online prayer or here in the prayer box, in the children's prayer box. Knowing without a shadow of a doubt that no honesty ever gets unreturned. For the divine always mirrors back exactly what is in us. How grateful I am for the path that has brought us here into this now moment. For all the good that is being made manifest by means of us. Thank you, life. Thank you, life. And let it be. And so it is.